PSV in the second leg of the Champions League last 16. And when it's a two-legged tie, you don't like to say it's a foregone conclusion, but I think we can agree this is pretty much a foregone conclusion after what
It's a
happened.
foregone
It
conclusion.
is absolutely, yes. I mean, that Eindhoven performance, absolutely staggering. I mean, maybe competing with the 5-1 Man City, Arsenal's best performance of the season so far. Would you go as far to say it's one of the best performances of the Mikel Arteta era so far?
I mean, certainly from a goal scoring point of view, I look PSV were played into Arsenal's hands, no doubt about that. But what was good about it was to see Arsenal take full advantage of that. They were so ruthless in front of goal. Um, they were clinical as well, which is something you don't always say about Arsenal. There was real intent about them, as I mentioned at the start of this call. You know, they flooded the box. You know, 7 people in the box for Timber's goal. There were 7 bodies in the box, Arsenal bodies in the box for that goal. There was 6 for when Ranieri made it 2-0. You know, they really got forward and supported the attack. And that's what you want to see, I think, from this Arsenal team at the moment because they're struggling. So I really enjoyed the performance. It was kind of a breath of fresh air. We all needed it, I think, because it's been a bit of a struggle the last few weeks. And that just felt like lifting the gloom a little bit. It's like, oh, we can score goals. That's why what happened against United was such a shame because it kind of sucked the energy out of that performance. Um, it'd be interesting to see what Mikel does on Wednesday night. You know, you're in a very rare opportunity here to be able to rest and rotate in a Champions League last 16 tie because you know the game is over. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think if people are expecting massive wholesale changes, I don't think that's going to happen. Mikel just doesn't operate like that. He'll still go relatively strong. He will make changes, but he'll still go relatively strong. Um, and so yeah, I'm intrigued to see how he handles it and how the crowd handle it as well. It's going to be a weird night, I think, for everyone in the stadium because there's just no jeopardy on that game whatsoever. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of empty seats.
Yes, quite a dead rubber, isn't it? You can't really say that much for Champions League knockout games, but this really is a dead
Mm.
rubber. And on those rotations you mentioned, I think it's so you got Timber, Martinelli, and Sterling. They're all one yellow card away from missing the first leg of the quarterfinals. So I think with the Timber yellow card especially, is this the perfect game for Ben White to make his first start of the calendar year? And could we also see the likes of maybe Zinchenko, Kivior, Jorginho? I know you said there won't be wholesale changes, but could you see players like that coming into the 11?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Ben White is the perfect opportunity to play Ben White from the start. You know, he's been drip fed back into the team since he's come back, which I can understand. You know, it's been a long time out. You don't want to take any risks with Ben White. But I think this is certainly the game. You know, can you get 60 minutes in under his belt for this one? You would imagine so. So I'd be surprised if Ben White doesn't play this game. Timber's played so many minutes recently. Yeah, sort of Tierney, Kivior, maybe those sort of players could get a bit of a run out. Zinchenko, you know, I don't think any of the sort of youngsters who've been on the bench will start a game, but there's a good opportunity maybe off the bench in the second half to reward them a little bit just for the time and effort they've put into the last couple of months in training and everything like that to be a member of this squad. You know, I'm looking particularly at Nathan Butler at Asia. You know, he's done a lot behind the scenes in training and everything like that. Hasn't yet been rewarded really with any significant amount of minutes on the pitch, and this is a really good opportunity for him potentially in the second half to get that. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting lineup, and I would like to see a couple of youngsters maybe in the second half just as a bit of a reward rather than anything else.
Definitely so, yes. And we know that Arsenal will face either one of the two Madrid teams in the quarterfinals. Of course, Real leading 2-1 after the first leg. Whoever Arsenal get, it's going to be extremely, extremely difficult. But if you had to pick, would you want Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid in the quarterfinals?
It's really hard this one because why would you ever choose to play a team with the attack of Bellingham, Vinicius, Mbappe, and Rodrigo? In what world, what madman chooses to play that team? But then I just look at how Arsenal play against teams who frustrate and sit deep and defend and are compact. You know, everything that Atletico Madrid are under Diego Simeone. And I look at how much Arsenal struggle against those teams and think maybe they've got a better chance against Real Madrid. I don't know, but I think ultimately, if you put a gun to my head, I'd choose Atletico because I mean, how can you choose to come up against an attack that Real Madrid have got? You know, Atletico lost yesterday to Getafe in the Premier League. Sorry, in the Liga. So I think it's probably a more winnable tie. but I look ahead to two games against Atletico Madrid with absolute dread of what they will be like. It's not going to be a spectacle, and I can just see Arsenal toiling, trying to find a way through a Diego Simeone team. So, yeah, I'd probably err on the side of Atletico, but I don't think it's going to be much fun.